Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Coe Show. My name is Mason Coe, here as always with my co-host Aaron Coe.
Hello.
Today is Thursday, November 18th. It's been a little bit. We're going to do our NFL midseason update as well as just dip our toes into the NBA a little bit. But before we get into that, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, all the YouTube stuff. Also, follow us on Twitter at Mason Charles Coe, at Aaron Coe29. And let's get into our NFL update. Do you want to start? Do you just want to go down the standings, or do you want to start with the Seahawks?
Let's start with the Seahawks.
Okay.
Just get that. Just cleanse.
Yeah.
You need to cleanse.
So 3-6, tough loss to the Packers. Got shut out. Russ didn't look great.
That's way too nice. That's probably the worst he's ever played.
Yeah, he looked really awful. There was a big push from his team about, in the media about how there's this, miracle comeback and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like you could tell that his team was out there making sure that there was press releases about how crazy the comeback was, but maybe he shouldn't have come back.
I don't know.
Maybe wait more.
We'll find out what's physical and what's mental, I guess.
Yeah.
He's will once in a while have a game where he's just off.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that was it. As I think I've mentioned before, I had a somewhat similar injury to this middle finger. And the one thing I will tell you is I'm not going to say it made it better or worse, but throwing was different.
Yeah.
It felt different, and I got used to it, but it was a little weird for a while.
Okay, yeah.
And shooting a basketball was that way too. Like
right.
it just
it
it comes off your finger different.
Yeah.
It just does. So
makes sense. Yeah.
some of it may be that. I don't know, but he's got they need a response right now.
Yeah.
There's no more games to kick. So.
Got a big opportunity to respond against the Cardinals, the 8-2 Cardinals coming to town, I think, right? Yeah. Seahawks are at home, I'm pretty sure. But Rams are 7-3. They just lost to the Niners, who got their asses kicked. Yeah, by the now 4-5 Niners. So, the NFC is just really fucking good. So I just don't it's tough.
It's weird. It's really good, but it's not great. Like, who's great?
Yeah, it's true.
And look at the NFC West. So let me see if I do this in the right order. The Rams own... the 49ers own the Rams, who own the Seahawks. I'm doing this wrong.
Yeah.
But the Cardinals own the Seahawks.
Yeah.
Like, everybody has their bitch.
Yeah.
But it's like... There's no dominant team, really. And the NFC feels like... Actually, the NFL feels that way. Like, who's going to win the Super Bowl?
It's true because, the Chiefs obviously have not been the Chiefs this year. The Titans are... It's still, hard to believe, even though they've had the toughest schedule and they're 8-2. Tied for the best record in football. And, especially, Derrick Henry's out, so... A lot of question marks with that moving forward. But other than that, the Bills are 6-3. I think the Bills are really dangerous, but they've also had a couple bad losses.
Really bad losses.
9-6 to the Jags happened in between our last podcast and now.
Yeah.
The Niners are, not the Niners. The Patriots are on the upswing.
Are they going to win the division as I predicted?
They might actually.
Doesn't look as stupid.
It doesn't. It does not look as stupid. They are on the upswing. I just don't. I think the Bills' talent is just gonna win out. I think it will, but who knows?
Yeah.
The Ravens, great. They're a good football team, but they're shaky. They're really shaky at times. Mm-hmm. Got smacked up by the Bengals, who started off super hot. Now they're 5-4. The Steelers 5-3. I don't believe in them at all.
No.
5-3-1. Sorry, 5-3-1. Because they tied with the fucking Lions. Exactly. That's why I don't believe in them. Browns are 5-5. I don't believe in them either. They got destroyed in back-to-back weeks, I think, by two good football teams. And it's just, you can't get smacked up by every good team you face and expect to be a believable, quote unquote team. And then it's the Colts, who and the AFC South, I will say the Titans, they're entering a really nice portion of their schedule because they're starting to face the teams in their division, and those teams are the Colts, Jags, and Texans. Jags and Texans are like two of the worst teams ever, and other than the Lions. And but
I mean, I'm not gonna say that there are 10. I won't say that there are 10 teams capable of winning the Super Bowl. I don't know if I believe that, but here's what I do believe. If you give me your top 10 teams, I can come forward with a valid argument why each team will not win the Super Bowl.
Yes, yeah.
Like I can shoot everybody down.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
and I don't think we've ever been able to do that before, right? Not recently.
No.
You know,
No.
they all have some holes.
Yeah.
And some bad spots on their resumes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And you look at the AFC West, you think Chiefs are down, and weirdly enough, I don't know. It doesn't feel like the Chargers are 5-4, but they're 5-4.
Yeah,
like they're not. The Chiefs are still in the lead for that division.
Yep.
So I feel like you can kind of rule that division out. Probably. The Cowboys are 7-2. I think.
Are they the ones that we've been
Mike McCarthy
shitting on them forever?
Is Mike McCarthy going to become the first coach to win 2 Super Bowls with 2 different teams?
Oh man,
that would be insane.
Yeah.
I think right now it's the Packers. I think right now it might be the Packers.
Yeah.
The Bucks. Actually no. I'm gonna say the Bucks are gonna take the AFC.
NFC
or NFC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean until somebody slays that man, I.
Because here's the thing: you say, "Oh, they lost to the Rams, who just got smacked." But I predicted the Rams to win that game,
You did.
And the reason was this: it didn't feel like a game that the Bucks would give a shit about that early in the season. Like, not give enough of a shit about to really go out and compete with the Rams. At least on Tom Brady and Bruce Arians' side, like they have bigger goals. They know they're gonna win this division. They lose back-to-back to Saints and Washington, which is tough. Brady, especially in the last game, looked old a little. But, I think they're going to turn it around. And I feel like the Packers are going to lose in the NFC Championship again.
Probably. Again, until they prove it. Until they prove otherwise. I mean, if you're going to have him going up, Rodgers against Brady in that game, I mean.
Yeah.
Who are you going to put your money on?
Yeah.
I'm not putting it on Rodgers in that situation.
And weirdly enough, even if it's in the snow, I like the Bucks defense more. Like, I feel like even though they're a warm weather team, and Tom Brady jokingly was talking about how he's a warm weather quarterback now.
Right.
I think, I don't know. I think I like them more in a cold game too, weirdly enough.
Yeah.
So, let's see. We pretty much covered all the divisions. The Eagles are sneaky. Like, they can be sneaky good at times. They're 4-6 though. I mean, they're 0-4 at home.
Well, that's crazy. That's because they're getting booed.
Yeah.
That is odd. I think that they're a team that can just stay in games and cause problems. They're not going to win any big games, but I mean the Redskins. The Washington football team. Oh dear.
My God! Get out!
I can't believe I just said that.
Yeah.
I don't like calling them the Washington football team either because this is the Huskies are the Washington football team.
I think most of America would disagree.
Screw you, Dan Snyder. I don't care about it. Yeah, America's mostly stupid. So there. We've shown that over and over again.
Yeah.
They can win games. I mean, they just beat the Bucks, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, it's wild. So, how did you feel about the Seahawks prior to Green Bay, and how do you feel now?
I felt like there was a small portion of me that still had some hope, and if Russ even looked like 75% of what he normally does, I would still probably feel that way, even if we lost this game. I just don't think Russ can be good enough, fast enough for us to win, to just rattle off 10 wins or 7 wins in a row. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't have any belief in this team making the playoffs at all.
Yeah.
0. What about you?
I'm kind of torn. I prior to the game, I'm like, hey, if they lose 24-21, I'm still gonna like their chances in a 17-game season with 7 teams in each conference going. I'm still gonna like their chances to go to the playoffs. And some of that is, Pete Carroll has a history of winning games in November and December.
Yeah,
he does it virtually every year.
He does, yeah.
So I'm like, they could go on a run and do the typical squeak into the playoffs, lose in the first round, try to reload again next year.
Yeah.
I could see that. But the way that they lost was pretty stunning. So yeah, they need. Now Tino, the guy that cut my hair today, said that the thing with Russ was mental. So if Tino's right. I will give him props.
Hey, and everyone knows
right.
if you've been to enough barbers, everyone knows barbers have the best logic.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
100%. Yeah. So if we are to believe Tino, then that means Russ has a chance to play well this week.
Yeah.
And if he plays well, the Seahawks have a great chance to win this game.
Yeah.
I don't think the Cardinals are that great. They're a very good team, but they're certainly beatable, especially with Kyler Murray. Probably going to play, but going to be a little hobbled.
He's not going to be 100%. Yeah.
So if Russ plays like what we're told he is as a quarterback, then they can win this game. And guess what? Now we're all going to be back on the bandwagon.
Back on the train.
Again.
Yeah.
So I guess what I'm saying is this game is huge.
Yeah, I mean, this is,
this is it.
This is it, really. And for me to actually believe that they're going to, I need to see, not fireworks, but I need to see something more than just a win against a hobbled Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
I want to see good football for the first time since the Colts game, since the game we were at.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Is that the last time we just played a good football game?
Yeah.
That's
first game of the year.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Do you got anything else for the NFL? I think we kind of ran through all the notable things.
Yeah, not a whole lot other than the Rams are, they look like someone's 2018 fantasy football team.
Yeah, seriously, yeah. They got OBJ and Von Miller. They got both of them, I think, since our last podcast, which is just ridiculous. Yeah. But
in addition to what they had already done previously with the Lions quarterback Stafford coming over. And
you look on the defensive side of the ball, they have a couple other, Jalen Ramsey and some other ones too, but Fowler. Yeah. Anyway, so I think that's the NFL midseason recap.
Yeah.
Are we satisfied? I think we are.
Basically, we don't know what the fuck's going on.
Basically, nobody knows. Yeah. Don't listen. If you hear someone talking that says they know what's going on, just turn them off.
Yeah.
Listen to someone else. They do not know what's going on. All right, the NBA, just little update because I haven't been paying a ton of attention, and I know you haven't, probably.
Not a lot, no.
Yeah.
NBA starts on Christmas Day.
Yes. Did you know I am currently wearing the jersey of the number 1 team in the East?
That's nuts.
Fucking crazy.
Yeah.
The Wizards are 10-4. Brooklyn Nets 11-5. Bulls 10-5. Heat. Bulls. Heat 10-5. Hornets 9-7. Cavs 9-7.
Wow.
Do you want to know what the Bucks are right now?
What are they?
7-8. They are not in a play-in game as of today. I mean, it's 15 games into the season, but it's it's concerning.
Yeah.
The Celtics also 7-8. Not good. Not good at all.
That's wild.
Hawks 7-9. They had a 6-game skid though. Pretty tough. As far as the Pistons go, they are 4-10, but they look pretty exciting. Cade Cunningham looks like he'll be just a solid player for years to come. Do you know the standings for the Western Conference?
No.
Do you want to guess who's number 1?
I have no idea.
This is
so
basically
bad.
this is
what's the Clippers.
What's your prediction? Who went into the season hot? He has no idea. So what's your prediction?
Well, you would think that the Suns would be a good team because they went to the finals last year and they're young.
I'll say they're number 2.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The number 1 team though is the Golden State Warriors. 12, 12-2.
Yeah. I knew they were doing well.
But Steph has just been putting on a clinic. Clay's still not back. He'll be back around Christmas, so it's going to be insane when he comes back to watch them. Yeah, I mean, as of right now, the main note I have for the standings in both conferences is like the difference between not being in a play-in game and being the number 5 seed is 2 games right now.
Right.
So it's really, there's not a lot of stock to be taken into it right now, other than the Bucks are struggling, the Cavs are overperforming in general. You know.
Right.
Also DeMar DeRozan. He was the best offseason acquisition, hands down. He's been winning the Bulls games.
Like,
straight
wow.
up. He's
well,
been
when
winning,
he shoots it, it goes in.
When he shoots it, it goes in. Oh, God, yeah. Maybe the worst offseason acquisition, Russell Westbrook. The Lakers are 8-8. It's not good. Yeah.
Again, they're playing fantasy basketball there, too. Like, you can't just pick the guys with the highest averages and put them together. It's not, teams don't work that way.
No. MV Paul George is making a legit MVP case this year without Kawhi Leonard on the court, because remember he tore his knee apart. They're 9-5 though, so yeah, I mean, again, the difference between the 3 seed and not being in the 3 seed and not being in the playoffs, not even a play-in game, is 3.5 games for the West. And the difference between being the number 9 seed and the number 3 seed is 2 games. So it's like, who cares really? But also Dame has been really struggling. He had an injury like that. He wasn't saying like that was why. He wasn't trying to make excuses, but I don't know. Also the ball's different, so players are making that excuse, which is kind of funny.
Actually, I want to circle back a little bit to the Seahawks and the Blazers.
Okay, yeah.
I'm going to combine those 2 topics. So, because I forgot about this. So, okay. The Blazers have been kind of a mess. They got rid of a guy because he did some bad shit. Mm-hmm. And then this is the first time I've heard Jody Allen's name a little bit. And as we know, Jody Allen also owns the Seahawks.
Yes.
Her brother Paul passed away obviously a couple years ago, so she's taken over, and no one really knows much about her.
I didn't know she was Paul's brother. I thought or sister. I thought they were married. So that tells you how little I know about Jody Allen.
Hopefully, I'm right about that. Maybe it's both. No, sorry, it was a little weird. No, but there's been some stuff coming out of Portland that like, oh, she's not giving this guy enough reign, and then, but in Seattle, it's like, well, it's a rudder. There's nobody at the top that knows what the fuck's going on, and Pete's just running wild. If you listen to some people, they believe that he calls every offensive play for the Seahawks.
Yeah.
Even though they had a 2-to-1, pass to run ratio last week, but but there is some concern with her as an owner in 2 cities now. So I'll be curious to see where all that goes.
Yeah.
And as far as the Seahawks go, if you had to who do you think really makes the actual final draft picks and trades? How much of that is Pete and how much of that is John?
I think because it's impossible to say 50-50 because someone has to suggest it and someone has to stamp it and approve it. So, man, it's impossible to know. My gut says I feel like John Schneider's the one that's putting together the stuff and then and really like digging and doing the research, and then Pete kind of puts his stamp on it. That would be my guess. But I don't know. I mean that's
I could see
so
Pete,
clueless about.
I could see Pete like I want that guy.
I could I could see him doing that. I could see like what I picture is Schneider like just typical like tape. Just grinding 20 hours a day in draft season of college tape, and then he comes with just a Bible of like research, and then Pete picks like no one that he even like, he's like, nah, I want that guy. Like he doesn't even look at the.
And it probably only happens like 1 out of their 5 to 7 picks or 10 picks, whatever they have. Like it probably doesn't happen all that often, but I think once in a while Pete's like, I want that guy. I don't care where we draft him. And then like Jamal Adams trade, you wonder, if Pete said, "Fucking go get that guy, figure it out."
All costs, yeah.
Yeah. Because, so I wonder, and in a way, they're a really healthy organization because we never hear,
and that's
stuff
good.
Doesn't leak.
That's good.
Right?
Yeah, I mean they're airtight. Yeah. They really are.
Yeah,
it's
so
weird.
It sounds like they're all working together, but I do wonder like who to blame for stuff sometimes.
Because like someone, okay, when shit starts going south, then fingers start being pointed.
Yeah. Yeah.
In the interest of yourself, you're gonna try to save your job or save your future career. Start pointing fingers everywhere else. So I think like, are we airtight because we've been a good football team, or are we a good football team because they've been airtight?
I think,
like, do you think once shit starts breaking down, it's not going to be as airtight, right?
But stuff like there's been stuff they're 3-5. You had all the stuff with Russ before.
That's true.
You know, so I feel like stuff would have leaked if it was going to leak.
Was like
it ain't going to be till someone gets fired or retires or whatever until we really know, if we ever know. But I think Pete is such an optimist, and then Schneider he's just not an ego guy. You don't see him.
I think that's the thing. I think they're just focused. I think they're focused, and there's not like really a hot seat conversation happening yet. Once they feel the heat, I could see that. I could see at least Pete doing some sneaky shit. I don't know. Like you said, I don't know if John. I think John could, even no matter what happens with the Seahawks thing, he could find a job anywhere.
Oh, for sure.
So he's fine. I could see Pete doing some sneaky shit to John, though. Yeah. More so than John doing it to Pete. It's interesting, though. I don't know.
Yeah.
Ultimately, I don't know, which is what I'll say to almost any Seahawks question right now.
And I think if this team struggles and doesn't make the playoffs, or, especially if they miss the playoffs by quite a bit, I'll go back to what I said earlier in the year. I could see the big three are Russ, Pete, and John. I could see two of those three being gone if this season is a disaster. Most likely John Snyder is the one that sticks around.
Yeah.
But I could also see, I don't know. We'll see what happens. But tough. Some of this is we don't know what Jody Allen, what she's all about.
That's the thing, yeah. Also, Jody Allen is his sister.
Okay.
I just didn't, that's how little I know. I had no idea that was the case.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'll be curious to see. Hopefully they'll go on a run and, won't have to worry about it. Yeah. Some people would like them to lose.
Some people would like...
Because they want the Jets to have a higher draft pick,
Oh,
I guess.
No, that's right.
No, some people want the Seahawks to lose because they want to blow everything up.
Yeah.
And those are usually the 12 since 12 people that have never seen a team suck for 10 years.
Bro, go be a Bears fan. See how fucking fun that is, dude. Fuck off.
Yeah. So I am disappointed that they haven't won another championship, believe me.
Yes.
But I also don't want to completely blow everything up and have to start all over, because you know what? There are 32 teams trying to win. They all have pretty equal resources. It's just not that easy to get into the playoffs and to compete for championships.
Like, the Andy Dalton Bengals had to blow it up. The Andy Dalton Marv Lewis Bengals had to blow it up.
Yeah.
There was a clear time, and you know what? If this year, let's say this year they kind of finished strong, but they say they just missed the playoffs, but they decided to run it back, and then next year is also bad, then it's time.
Then it's time.
Maybe not blow it up in the sense of like, let's tank and all that, but blow it up in the sense of the big three, the familiar faces, 1, 2, maybe all three are gone.
Yeah.
Do you want to move on to some other coaching news?
Fuck. Oh.
Bye Jimmy. Jimmy's gone.
What a downfall.
Yeah.
Man.
Pretty crazy. So, assuming the AD leaked that story about him like pushing a kid into a locker in 2019, right?
But now they're paying him anyway.
Oh, they are. I'm not even following
this. Maybe it didn't come from there, but I was very suspicious in that moment. Like, okay, they're really trying to pin a lot of shit on him.
I wonder who it was. Like, was it a player? Was it the player then?
I don't know.
I don't even know who would have... Who in whose interest is it to leak that story?
Yeah, there was really only one publication that ran with it.
Maybe it was like a booster or something that like didn't want to pay the money but wanted to get him out.
Yeah, I was skeptical that it was somebody from the athletic department.
I definitely thought it was, but if they're just gonna pay him anyway,
then what was the point?
Just tarnish his legacy. I mean, not legacy, but yeah. So I don't know. I mean, it was gonna happen eventually. So,
Yeah.
I'm just like depressed. I'm a depressed
it's
Huskies
sad.
fan.
It's sad because here's the thing. I think almost any real fan wanted Jimmy Lake to be hired when we heard Chris Peterson.
Yeah.
And some of us were even like, this might be, but he can take Chris Peterson and add like some personality.
Get some
a little more
flair
brash.
and some shit talk with it.
Yeah. So some people thought, but man, there are things that hit me wrong, and it's funny. When somebody has a downfall, we all come out with, I knew when this happened, I knew it.
Yeah, you can point to just tiny little things. Yeah.
But a couple of the things that gave me a little pain in my side.
Yeah.
Over the last year.
It really grinded your gears.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, everybody talks about the hire of John Donovan.
Yeah,
right.
That's terrible. Like all-time bad hire.
Yeah, and my take at the time was it doesn't look very good, but I trust Jimmy. Like
yes.
this maybe he sees something and this is gonna work out really well. Obviously.
Why did we trust him to make an offensive hire? I don't know.
Because we loved him.
We loved him.
Jimmy.
We were lovesick. We were love blind.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was bad. Anyway, so the John Donovan hire, and then the other thing that you didn't like that you saw from Jimmy.
There were a few things. So one of them was I told you this before.
Yeah.
So at the end of the spring game, and I liked what Jimmy did during the game. Hey fans, now we're gonna do this, which sounds ridiculous now, but I kind of liked it.
Kept everyone involved. Yeah.
Like, okay, he really gives a shit about us. Yeah. But then at the end, like they did a punt or a kickoff, and then he caught it and did his old man run down the middle of the field, so that they ended practice with him returning a kick. And in that moment, I will tell you that really bugged me.
Yeah, so I remember, I very distinctly remember that because I was like, this is weird. I didn't, I think it maybe, you kind of saw not the writing on the wall, but you saw the potential problem in that more than I did. But I was like, this is just weird.
Best case, it's weird.
Yeah.
Worst case, okay, then this is what went through my head. Is this gonna be all about Jimmy?
Yeah. Is this the Jimmy show?
Is his ego getting out of control here?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, no, it's Jimmy. I love Jimmy. So I bet he lost a bet, or his players.
Right. Yeah.
Jimmy, why don't you return the kick?
Yeah. A Make-A-Wish kid or World War II veteran or something.
Yeah. But then we come back, and his arrogance has come out many times. Another one that bothers me, I've told you this before too. They had two kickers, right?
This is actually this is so bad.
This is the worst evaluation in the history of football.
Yeah.
Okay. If there's one thing that any idiot can evaluate, right?
Yeah.
If you have two kickers and one of them can kick it into the end zone and one of them can't, which kicker should you use?
Yeah, probably the one that can kick it further for kickoffs.
Yeah.
You'd think. Yeah.
So the kicker who couldn't put it into the end zone left the school because
he was sad he couldn't kick it into the end zone.
And they wouldn't let him kick field goals.
Yeah.
Because he also couldn't kick it straight.
Accurately.
So then they bring in the guy who apparently wasn't good enough to do the kickoff. He's put every fucking kick into the how do you not know that?
Yeah, he's putting them through the uprights at the other
side.
Any
other
of the
position? Yeah. Well, when it's live, when the live bullets are flying, you never know. But he's kicking it off of a tee. He's not getting hit.
Have them both do 10 kicks in just end of practice, guys. You get 10 kicks to put in the end zone.
Yeah.
Whoever gets more in the end zone is going to be kicking off.
How does this happen?
That's all you need to do.
Yeah, right there. So then that takes me to the quarterback. If he can't figure out which guy can kick it the furthest.
Oh, my God, yeah.
So we have Dylan Morris, who showed promise last year when they went 3-1. Mm-hmm. They could have been 1-3, to be honest. But they found a way to go 3-1. And it's not necessarily the Heward thing that bothers me, but they have a grad transfer that looked good at times in spring, and the dude hasn't gotten on the field. And I think that's when your starter sucks, why not throw the experienced guy in there
Yeah.
and see what he's got? And then, the guy came here, and unless he's just a dick in practice and everybody hates him,
Yeah.
and he's like, fuck all you guys,
Give him some run.
like give him a series and see if he can do anything. So I question his ability to evaluate.
And Jake Haener walked, so
yeah.
I mean,
so you didn't have him, and I kind of, that one's a tough one.
it's tough. Yeah, I mean, like Joe Burrow walked, Justin Fields walked, like whatever. But
and I also think with Jimmy's ego, I think that they weren't recruiting hard enough. Oh, so let me take a step back. So I mentioned I want Chris Peterson with a little bit more pizzazz.
Yeah.
Like, throw a little sriracha on my Chris Peterson, okay?
Yeah.
And I want to say it was a couple months ago. I heard Peterson interviewed. It might have been on the Softy show. I can't remember. And they're like, oh, how much do you and Jimmy talk? And he's like, oh yeah, Jimmy's kind of doing his thing, and we haven't talked a whole lot. And I'm sitting there going, what?
Oh my God! So
What?
he's not like getting consultation
Nothing.
or what the fuck, dude?
They really haven't talked at all this year.
So
And Pete, by the way, Peterson lives in the city, works on campus, works with other head coaches of other programs.
He works at the UW.
Like pretty much every head coach talks to him, right? Except for the football coach.
Yeah. Oh my God. So okay.
Yeah.
You know what?
Some of the recruiting methods that they had went out the window. Like he basically wanted it to be the Jimmy show, the Lake show.
Wow.
Yeah. I heard Peterson say that before, and I thought, well, maybe he's downplaying it a little bit, or maybe he just doesn't want any attention to be on him. But I heard Jen Cohen address that also. Jesus. Like they barely, And I'm like, I want Peterson fucking being a puppeteer to Jimmy Lake. Do what Peter. This is a Hall of Fame coach, and you're not gonna ask him a few questions.
My dream was like we've talked about, like the hypothetical. This definitely isn't true. The hypothetical, like Jody Allen pulling all the strings and like
right.
running. Yeah, I wanted that for Chris Peterson.
Yeah.
I didn't want to hear anything from him. I didn't want him to have to deal with the media because that's all the bullshit he hates.
Yeah.
But I wanted him running that football team. Like that's what I wanted. And to hear that he didn't even consult him. I mean, I hope this interim coach will at least talk to him, and then maybe we can like win the Apple Cup.
That'd be nice.
Like that's
yeah.
Because I don't know, man. I mean, our defense is still good, and the defense is really what killed Wazoo in the last 6 years. But that was also with a whole different offense, and it's like I don't know.
Yeah, who knows? I don't know. I don't have a lot of hope. For they're at Colorado. Colorado's terrible. They should be able to beat Wazoo, but who's going to want it more? Wazoo might be playing to get into a bowl game.
And just to fucking beat UW for the first time in a while.
Yeah, they're going to have the motivation.
They care way more.
This looks like a UW loss to me in the Apple Cup.
It feels like it. It just,
But I don't know.
It also feels like a cop-out, and I'm not trying to, like, cop-out. Like, if UW loses, Wazoo fans, you get to talk your shit.
Yeah,
I'm not trying to, like, cop out of it by saying I think we're going to lose. I just think we're going to lose. And, and it's sad.
They're going to get one every 4 years.
Yeah.
They're due.
They're due. The best saying in sports. They're due. Yeah.
So the other
analysis.
The other Jimmy thing. So, I don't like the way Oregon recruits. I think they're dirty and slimy. And I know they were saying shit about Chris Peterson's, OKGs, our kind of guys. And I think they were like, looking at non-white players and being like, what they mean by our kind of guy, right? Like, look at their guys. Their kind of guys are Ben Burke-Irvin.
Oh, Jesus
They were
Christ.
absolutely doing that shit. I've heard that all over the place.
Wow.
But they don't do it in the media.
Yeah, of course
it's all back channel shit. And they recruit hard. They're dirty. They're aggressive.
Yeah.
And I think Jimmy is basically like, hey man, I can fucking turn anybody into an NFL player. Look at all my guys in the NFL. Like, I just sprinkle my magic dust and they're gonna get drafted in the second round. Look at all my guys making plays in the NFL. I think he felt like he didn't have to necessarily recruit super hard. And then what really started a horrible Oregon week was him saying that, we don't really go head to head with Oregon on recruits because we go against more
like Stanford and Notre Dame.
Yeah,
or
academic prowess.
Yeah,
you know. And I think that's something that he says to moms. And I would too. Like, hey, we're a better school. And UW, yes, is a much better school than Oregon.
It is.
Yeah,
yeah.
It just is. But for him to say that, and if you're going to say that, like, make it funny.
I know.
Have some fun with it.
Yeah.
You know?
He sounded like he was clenching his teeth while he was saying that. Like, well, we don't even compete with you in recruiting. We're smart. Like, that's what it sounded like.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. I don't know where they're going next. I could, the two, their names. There's like the dream list, but there's a lot of other openings right now. You got USC and LSU amongst others.
I saw some tweets about Bobby Petrino. How funny would that be?
Oh my God. My guess, I could see Justin Wilcox from Cal, and I know a lot of people aren't gonna like that. I think he's done a really good job there.
No one even remembers that Cal is a school. So, like, the fact that they're ever decent is good.
And they have, like, these crazy COVID rules down there.
Yeah.
Like, they basically can't play if someone in their fucking county had close contact with someone in another county.
Yeah.
I don't know. But, I concerns about offense. He's a defensive guy, and what would he bring offensively? I don't know. And I personally am more into offensive coaching hires nowadays. I am, but who's the best NFL coach in the last 20 years? Who's the best college coach?
Saban, who has said he's switching his game to a more high-powered offensive game 4 years ago. So.
Yeah, I mean, he's so pragmatic.
I would argue that, yes, so they're both defensive coaches, but and maybe this comes from being a defensive coach. In the first place, they're fluid. They flow like they're Bruce Lee. They flow like water. Like, it's just they do what wins games, and there's no like, oh, this is what I did here, and it worked, so it's gonna work again. They just look at everything objectively.
And if you look at Saban, there have been a lot of changes that I guarantee you he doesn't like, but he's just like, well, that sucks. Okay, how can I win that way?
Yeah,
and he just fucking does it.
I was just thinking about this earlier with Belichick. Actually, it's like, Belichick finds all these loopholes and finds a way to win with certain rules or whatever. And it's like, if there was no Belichick, there was no loophole in a weird way. You know what I mean? Because there has to be someone like with Saban, he doesn't like the rule, but he knows there's a way to get an advantage from it.
Yeah.
There's with every rule, everything, there's a way to get an advantage.
Yeah.
In sports. And instead of being a bitch like Dabo Swinney and complaining about it, he said, okay, let's talk about how my quarterback who hasn't played a snap made 6 figures in a month. Like, let's just talk about that. Let's push that out to the press.
Yeah.
Like, he's going to, Dabo Swinney will be gone in 5 years or less, and Saban will retire when he dies. And that's why.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Yeah. So I think, here's the thing. I would like it. My preference would be a good offensive coach. The problem is everybody's looking for good offensive coaches. So there are way more swing and miss hires.
Yeah, draft for talent, not for fit.
So if you get a really good guy like I don't even know if Matt Campbell at Iowa State.
I don't know. I think Anyway,
like and I don't even know if he's offensive or defensive, to be honest with you.
Iowa State,
yeah. He would be a guy that I would like. But I don't like it when, and I see this in the NFL, right? Like, just hire an offensive guy, but then they hire a guy that sucks.
Yeah. As
a head coach.
Yeah.
So you need a CEO, a guy that can handle all the bullshit that goes along with college athletics. So, Kalani Sitake from BYU is he's probably way up there as far as realistic guys that you could get. He's done a great job as well, but he's not an offensive. I don't think he's an offensive guru either. So give me an offense.
I'm hopping on the Urban Meyer train, baby.
There you go. There you go, dude.
Hey, you haven't done it in the Pac-12 yet, buddy. Let's see if you can come here and do it in the Conference of Champions.
That's
sure.
right.
Oh, the SEC and the Big Ten. Conference of Champions, baby. Let's get it. Let's go.
There's a lot of strip clubs down on Lake City. It's like 5 minutes away.
Yes,
dude.
yes.
I'll take you there myself if we have to. Yeah, so I don't know, man. And this is what, no, has anybody, okay, nobody's ever said, oh, they don't really need to get this higher, right? It's not that big a deal. Nobody ever says that, but this really does feel like if you fuck up this higher, you might be going into an abyss.
There's a spiral that involves, there's a distinct spiral that can happen in college athletics with recruiting. Like, you can spiral in in professional sports too, but ultimately you can like draft and get players and trades and all that stuff. Yeah. Like, people have to just decide to come to your school.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when they don't believe, like, Seattle's not, UW isn't like, like a kid in Texas, or maybe Texas is a bad example. A kid in Kansas is growing up like, oh man, Florida State, like, look at how cool it is to be like a Florida State player. Like, no one really, or Florida or whatever, no one really does that with UW. Right. So they have to be like a good program.
Yeah, you have to be good, and can you get me to the NFL? Yes. Yeah. Which they've done.
But when that goes away, then no one wants to come here for any reason. No. So even though, I think Seattle is one of the best cities in the country, but like, not a lot of people think that. Like, it's just especially
that does help.
If you come from a sunny place, like, hearing people from Seattle say, no, Seattle's awesome. Like, that's not going to convince you to go to UW if the team's not good. So,
and I've heard a lot of people say that, UW's it's not an elite coaching job. It's not an elite school.
It can be. Any school can be.
It can be. And also, like, okay, if we're talking West Coast, okay, USC is obviously the standard, and Oregon, they're that's a pretty elite deal right now. As long as Phil Knight's writing checks. But what else?
You could argue Stanford.
No, they can't. They're not going to compete in football anymore.
Yeah.
With some of these new rules, and they can be good, but that's not an elite football school either. They have no fans.
Yeah, true.
Like, it's
I guess that comes from my childhood of Stanford
of them
whooping
kicking
our fucking
ass.
Yeah.
They're tough. They're tough. But I think.
But yeah, as a whole franchise, historically and moving forward, I agree we would be above Stanford.
When you think about the stadium, it's one of the greatest setting in college football. It really is a great place.
It is.
You got a good donor support and all that. So anyway, we've probably talked about this way too long.
Yeah. We should move along.
But they got to get this higher right.
They got to get the higher.
They got to get it right.
They got to get it right. Okay. This is more bad news. So Robert Sarver, the Suns owner, there was this huge article that came out. A lot of former employees and coworkers and peers have contributed to this article. Robert Sarver, racist and misogynistic piece of shit. Not entirely surprising to hear that an NBA governor is a piece of shit. But this is the story that stuck out the most, I think, to everyone, including to me. So there was a loss, and this is when Earl Watson was the head coach for 10 games or whatever, and then he got fired. There was a loss. Sarver entered the coach's locker room. Why does Draymond Green get to run up the court and say N-word? Sarver, who is white, allegedly said, repeating the N-word several times in a row. You can't say that, Watson, who is black and Hispanic, told Sarver. Why? Sarver replied. Draymond Green says, and then he said it again. And then Watson said, you can't fucking say that. And Watson put out this statement, and judging off his statement, this work relationship seriously has taken a toll on his mental health. It's not even it has fucked him up. It's very obvious. And he's still a little iffy to talk about it. He's like, I'll say everything when the time comes. And he's applauding the people who are brave enough. But there are people I want to say Watson said he had to like go to counseling like or something. Like this
man.
really fucked him up.
Wow.
That might just be that might be another person in the article that said that. But I know for a fact it really, really fucked him up, like this whole relationship. And really a shitty part about it is like when the Suns were a shit show and then Earl Watson got fired, there was a distinct period of time where Earl Watson was getting fucking clowned on.
Yeah.
On the internet. He was getting dunked on a lot. And so I'm guessing that contributed. There was other stories of Watson and him having similar conversations. Sarver, yeah. So he's just a piece of shit. I don't know what else to say. Not surprising.
To say
Sad.
that is just unbelievable.
It's like I can't even like it's so out of touch.
Yeah.
Like just so it's like ridiculous.
And I don't love ever hearing the N-word.
Yeah.
I get that part of it. Like I don't think Draymond Green should be able to run up and down the court and be yelling that out either. But number one, that doesn't mean that I'm going to ask a question and use that word.
No. No.
That's number one. And I wouldn't couch it that way. I would find a different way to say that I don't like Draymond Green that he does that. I think that's shitty.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't. That's unbelievable. That's just somebody who, just has probably never had anything bad happen and just thinks he can do whatever he wants.
It's just like that's someone who has never talked to a black person.
Yeah.
Like that is the amount of clueless. It's just so insane. Yeah, and then there's the article is long. It just keeps going, keeps going.
Yeah.
So, and then he also.
And he was known as a shitty owner before any of this even came out.
And do you know what the most damning story from this is? And also, like, kind of tells you something about how he feels about certain players. He wanted the GM to draft Josh Jackson, who was also black, instead of Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum, because he said, we don't need another Devin Booker type. Well, like, someone that's, like, outspoken a little and, like, someone that has confidence and like, just because like Josh Jackson is perceived as like this really quiet guy.
Okay.
Like,
oh god.
So that's why you want to draft him instead of Jason Tatum. That's
right.
Yeah. Anyway, that's the most damning piece of evidence as like just straight up just a basketball owner. Like that's
Well, he should go ask Mark Cuban how to find white guys. Like Mark Cuban can find the white guys. This guy, I don't know.
Former Suns this is one of the big quotes that caught my eye too. Former Suns basketball executive. There's literally nothing you could tell me about him from a misogynistic or race standpoint that would surprise me. That is a former Suns exec.
Yeah.
So
I'll tell you, it's the NBA. Well, sports and ownership is, and in the NBA is pretty interesting. So owners will rarely do something to another owner because part of them is like, they can do this to me.
You all kind of have the same interest.
Like, I've done some shit.
Yeah. All of them have done some shit, and they all are making a lot of money.
Yeah, if you made a lot of money, you stepped on some people.
You just, and then also, like, they all realize they're in a good position, just making money, so let's just take a step back.
Yeah.
Let's just,
ain't my problem,
Yeah.
What makes the NBA kind of unique, and they did get rid of that shit owner for the Clippers.
Sterling, yeah.
Yeah. What makes them a little bit unique is, obviously, most of the great players are non-white.
Yeah.
I think we can all agree on that.
They're almost all black.
Yeah. So in the NFL, you can kind of be a racist, and you might miss out on a star quarterback, or something like that once in a while. But you're still going to be able to draft some guys.
You can beef up an O-line pretty well and get some tight ends.
but in the NBA, like you think LeBron's ever gonna when he changes teams again next week? Do you think he's going to go to the Suns?
Yeah.
You know, like, so the NBA players as individuals have much more power than the other sports.
Yeah.
The NFL, like, you don't have that much power.
Well, the Texans owner, I mean, isn't it like, or did they get rid of him too? I don't know.
No, well,
did they get rid of him? Or Titans owner or something?
Did he die?
He might have died. I don't know. But I don't think they got rid of him, though. I think he just died.
Yeah.
Anyway, fucking...
His son's as shitty as him.
His son... Oh, man. You should look up his son's, like, stand-up comedy he did at church. It's the worst.
Oh.
It's the absolute worst. Yeah, and then this is, by the way, this is, like... I love how they structured this part of the article. Through his legal team, Sarver denied using racially insensitive language. I've never called anyone or any group of people the N-word. Referred to anyone or any group of people by the N-word, either verbally or in writing. I don't use that word. It's abhorrent and ugly and blah, blah, blah. Sarver did acknowledge using the word once many years ago. Oh. So he's like, I've never said that word, except for the time I said that word.
Yeah.
On one occasion, a player used the N-word to describe the importance of having each other's back. I responded by saying, I wouldn't say N-word. I would say we're in the foxhole together. You, like, just mayonnaise-ass motherfucker. Like, that's... Yeah. Come on, bro.
I don't think that guy ever saw a foxhole either.
Yeah, exactly. We're in the foxhole, buddy. Yeah. Anyway,
wow.
Yeah, so that's... I don't have anything else to really say. That's...
In the NBA, if there's an owner this bad, there's more motivation to get rid of that person because it can just completely ruin the league's image. And
he's not gone
franchise.
Yet, is he? I think he's still around.
I don't know if he ever will be, but
it's weird.
He's the only other guy I've ever heard about. Like, oh, they might actually get rid of this dude.
Yeah,
like it just doesn't happen.
Also, more lawsuit stuff. The NFL just said nah to Congress. They were like, Congress was like, hey, we want some of those emails, please. Oh. And they were just like, nah. They just didn't send them in.
Yeah, I mean,
they just, like, I didn't know you could do that.
I don't think they were subpoenaed.
Okay, yeah.
Like, what are you basing it on?
Yeah, in this similar discussion, Gruden is suing the NFL, which is not surprising. I don't... know what all I hope from this lawsuit is that all of the emails just get released.
Yeah.
So then we can really see who the pieces of shit are and how big of a cover-up job this was. Because there is some cover-up. You think John Gruden was just firing off racist emails and people were just clicking on them like, oh, John. And just like no, other people were sending those emails.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, do you want to move forward to some good news?
Yes.
We haven't done this podcast in so long that, the Atlanta Braves won the World Series. So, congrats. Yeah. I like this picture.
They're worse than the Mariners.
Yeah, I know. They finished 2 games behind the Mariners in the regular season.
And let me tell you something. I'm turning this good news you just said into bad news, but this is why I never liked the narrative that Mariners shouldn't go for it.
The fuck, dude! And they lost their best player. Acuna was out like the whole season.
I mean, if the Mariners had a number 1 starter that they could have found with their bullpen, I'm not saying they would have won the World Series, but isn't it fun to think about?
It's plausible.
Instead of we'll just wait, we'll just wait and see, and see if some guy in Double-A can help us in 5 years.
Yeah. Also,
go for it!
Speaking of number 1s, Charlie Morton threw 10 pitches on a broken leg and then apologized for not pitching more. Sorry, could have gone more. Yeah,
that's pretty impressive.
Impressive. Yeah.
You know, I think we're all good. We're all glad that Houston didn't win.
That's the main takeaway from this. That's why it's good news.
Yeah.
Also, it's good to see Atlanta get something, man.
Yeah.
Like, although Georgia is probably going to win the championship this year too. So. They will probably have Georgia football, but
they could very
Atlanta sports has been taking a beating the last 20 years or so.
Yeah.
So, more MLB. The MLB Awards dropped the first round of them. The Gold Gloves dropped during Sunday Night Football in the most
the most
MLB fashion. So
like news dump.
Yeah,
What are you doing?
news dump. Our best players winning awards. What the fuck, dude? So stupid. So the MVP vote is tonight. It'll be announced at announced at 3 p.m. So about an hour here.
Okay.
I think AL. It's safe to assume that Shohei Ohtani is gonna get it. He was the players' vote for Player of the Year too.
You will have some people not vote for him because there's always been this narrative that, well, what MVP of what? They didn't,
right,
they didn't
they didn't do shit. Baseball, I don't support that argument at all in baseball.
It's happened before. I know that, A-Rod
Yeah.
had way better stats.
Mike
one
Trout
of his years in
could have
Seattle.
had Mike Trout could have had a couple more MVPs.
Yeah. So he'll probably win it, but there will be a lot of those old crusty fucks that won't vote for him.
Yeah. And then National League, for the same reason, Tatis probably won't win that because the Padres kind of underperformed.
Yeah.
You got Juan Soto and Bryce Harper. I feel like I've seen more buzz than anyone for Bryce Harper than anyone else, but I also haven't been looking that much.
It's interesting. I thought he was kind of trending downward the last couple of years.
Last year was pretty rough. This year he killed it.
Yeah, he sure did.
Yeah. Robbie Ray with the AL Cy Young and Corbin Burns with the NL Cy Young. American League Rookie of the Year, Randy Arozarena. The NL Rookie of the Year is oh my god. First Jonathan India. Yeah.
Oh.
Yes. The AL Manager of the Year.
Yeah, what'd you think of that?
Here's the thing. I get it.
Yeah.
The Rays had a tiny payroll and they beat out the Red Sox and the Yankees. I get it. If the Mariners made the playoffs, I would be pissed at this.
Yes.
Because they didn't make the playoffs, I'm indifferent about it.
Yeah, I will contend that nobody did a better job than Scott Servais this year.
I think he was the manager of the year.
I mean, he took a pile of shit.
Like, we were supposed to win like 40 games.
Yeah.
And they won like twice the amount of games they were supposed to.
And just kept it even they had a couple downturns and he kept it going. Like he just, I don't know, man.
It looked like they could crumble and they should crumble, but he somehow kept the spirit alive or whatever.
But you're pretty much never going to have a non-playoff manager win this award.
Yeah.
It's just, and but if we're saying that who's going to win the AL MVP, if we're saying Shohei is going to win the MVP,
Servais
why
should
he?
That's a good point.
Yeah,
it's a very good
point.
point.
Why is that different?
That's a very good point.
So
yeah,
I don't know.
Giants manager Gabe Kapler with the NL Manager of the Year.
Yeah, they really came out of nowhere.
They killed it. Yeah. So the Gold Gloves. I'm just gonna read through them really quick. American League. Catcher Sean Murphy, first base Yuli Gurriel, who is racist against Asians. Second base Marcus Semien, third base Matt Chapman, shortstop Carlos Correa.
Stop there for a second, because our boy won it last year, not this year though.
Oh yeah. Well,
so
also interestingly,
interesting.
Correa got the platinum glove too.
Okay.
So they really liked him this year.
Okay.
Benintendi in left, Michael A. Taylor in center, Joey Gallo?
Yeah, he's really good. He's really good.
I didn't realize he was that good of a defender.
His arm is ridiculous.
I knew his arm was crazy. Anyway. Dallas Keuchel, pitcher, and then the team is the Astros. I didn't know teams got Gold Gloves.
I didn't either, actually.
Catcher for the NL, Jacob Stallings, first base Goldschmidt, Tommy Edman at second, Nolan Arenado at third, Brandon Crawford at short, Tyler O'Neill in left.
Former Mariners prospect. Yeah.
Harrison Bader in center, Adam Duvall in right, Max Fried, and then the team was the Cardinals. Holy shit! 1, 2, 3.
A lot of Cardinals.
4, 5 Cardinals.
Wow.
Out of 9. And like 6 out of 10 when you count the team. Platinum Glove went to Arenado. Silver Sluggers. Catcher, Salvador Perez. First base, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., second base, Semien. So, damn, he took a Gold Glove and a...
Future Mariner, Marcus
Semien.
I doubt it.
Yeah. Rafael Devers for the Sox. For third base, Xander Bogaerts for shortstop. Teoscar Hernandez. Outfield, Judge. Outfield, Cedric Mullins. Outfield. And then Shohei Ohtani at DH. Let's see. Buster Posey.
And then he retired after winning the award.
And he retired. Buster Posey, yeah. Freddie Freeman, Ozzie Albies at second, Austin Riley at third, Fernando Tatis Jr. at short, Juan Soto, Bryce Harper, and Nick Castellanos in the outfield, with Max Fried rounding out the pitchers. I don't have any opinions on any of this.
Yeah, the one thing that one I mentioned Simeon
Yes.
a minute ago. He's the dream pickup for the Mariners.
He is,
I believe that they need a second baseman, and then you move what's his name over to
Toro.
third base. You move Toro to
Toro
third.
yeah, I like that.
I think Toro could grow into a second baseman. He showed that he didn't have middle infield just instincts and skills all the time. He's a solid, decent, but man, the thing about Simeon is he was like considered not a great shortstop, and then he wins a Gold Glove at second base.
I remember he was on the A's. He led the league in errors for 3 years in a row. Also, shout out to Nelson Cruz for winning the Clemente Award.
Oh wow,
it's the equivalent of the Walter Payton Man of the Year.
That's great.
And then
Great guy.
The Hank Aaron Awards, which I think is like the best power hitter or something. Went to Vladdy Jr. and Bryce Harper.
Nice.
And then, this is all stuff you probably know. The World Series MVP was Jorge Soler. So, this is the player's choice. This is what makes me think he's going to win it. This is MLB.com, by the way. Just like most anyone paying attention to baseball this season chose two-way superstar Shohei Ohtani as the 2021 Player of the Year.
Yeah.
So that is heavily implying that he's gonna win.
I would think he would, but again, you still got some crusty old fucks doing the voting.
You do, yeah.
These are baseball writers that vote for those official awards, I think he will, but it'll be a shift from how they used to vote. But a lot of those old fucks are dying off. So
yes,
yes.
What's like? I've never understood the idea of a first ballot, like. If he's a Hall of Famer, put him in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
The first ballot? It's all bullshit semantics, right?
Or there are 3 people that said Griffey. I'm not voting for Griffey because he shouldn't be unanimous. Yeah.
Do you think he should be in the Hall of Fame? That's the only question you answer.
Yes.
That is the fucking question you answer.
Or no.
Do you think he should be in the Hall of Fame?
Yeah.
There's no. Well, when I consider everyone else's vote, no. Who do you? They trust you and your thoughts. They shouldn't, but they do to pick the Hall of Fame. So, anyway,
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, so shout out to the MLB for absolutely making these award winners unknown. I had no idea any of these happened.
I don't know, announce this shit on like a Tuesday. There's nothing else going on.
I didn't know any of these results until I pulled up this article for this podcast. Yeah. I'm not kidding, and that's a problem.
I would also announce this stuff. Doesn't the NBA announce a lot of this stuff during the playoffs?
Yeah, they do it at like halftime of games and shit. Like they do good times.
Don't do it when whoever was paying attention to your sport, the last 5 people that watch baseball. Have turned their TV off.
They're on Sunday Night Football. It's still on. They're watching something else. Like it's not even. They're not even on like MLB Tonight watching off-season bullshit. They're watching Sunday Night Football.
Like what if you announce these awards, during the 7th inning stretch or whatever the fuck of the World Series?
Yeah.
I don't get it. And then to do it on a Sunday night. I don't know. This is why one of the reasons the game itself is part of it.
Yeah.
This is one of the they don't understand how to market their sport.
The they need to build personalities like the UFC does. Yeah. Like the UFC, sometimes you'll see 2 guys fighting. If you're a big UFC fan, you'll see 2 guys about to fight and you're like, man, like as a fight fan, like of a fan of actual fighting, like I want to see just the good fights. Like this guy would have been a better fit, but these 2 talk a lot of shit and they hate each other. Oh, yeah. So it's gonna be more fun to watch. Yeah. I get it. Yeah. Like that's like, and there's less of that element with baseball. But for example, not bitching about bat flips, not bitching about a pitcher fist pumping, not bitching about shit talk. Like let's make the game fun. Like like it's it's so. God damn, like, and unwritten rules are just a load of horse shit for the most part. Like, just fucking stupid. Like, A-Rod running over the mound, like, you're not supposed to run over the mound. That's an unwritten rule. A-Rod did that to be a dickhead to the A's.
Yeah, that's different.
That's different. He did that to be a dickhead.
Yeah.
in general, unwritten rules are a pile of fucking horseshit to me.
I think a lot of it is, I'm not, as we've talked about, like, I'm not a big taunting guy.
Yeah.
But so I don't love that kind of stuff, but I like celebration.
Yeah.
I like people just being happy with what they've done.
Yeah.
So I don't understand a lot of that stuff either.
Yeah. It's just like they're so reliant on the people that are their fan base that is currently dying day by day. They're so reliant on that group of people. That's just not going to work if they keep it like that. So I guess we already kind of talked about Mariners free agency hopes a little, but do you have any other notes on that? I know you just put it down in the...
No, here's the thing. So I know that DePoto has said that they're going to have some money to spend.
Mm-hmm.
So
hell yeah.
I don't want to hear about them finishing second for people. Like we need a big bat, and we need a top of the rotation pitcher.
Kevin McHale, when he was the executive of the Celtics, was the king of, we almost got that guy. He was the king of that. We can't have that.
No.
Please.
We've watched you not spend money for a few years now, and we've tried to trust the process and all that. But we need to sprinkle the final ingredients, and this team needs to be a playoff team next year.
If they're not a playoff team, I'm going to go out and say it. Should I be... I'm going to go out and ask you a question. I'm going to go out and ask a bold question. Should I be disappointed if they don't make the playoffs next year?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They won 90 games
I think they should.
Year.
I think I should if they don't. Yeah. And it's like, it almost feels funny to say that because they've never made the playoffs since I could remember anything, like since I could walk or anything or talk, like they have not made the
year old.
It feels ridiculous to me to even say that I should be disappointed if they don't make the playoffs, because it doesn't feel real yet. It does not feel like I can really expect that, even though I should.
I at the very least want to see that they're trying.
Yeah.
Like, that's the main thing.
Yeah.
Like, did you, if shit happens and you have injuries and all that, okay, but I want to see a couple of free agents.
Ultimately, you want to see more than 90 wins, right? Because you can't really control, like you said, injuries. But, the Mariners, this was before the extra wild card spot, but didn't the Mariners win, 102 games and not make the playoffs after 2001? So, you could win, for example, we won 90 games this year and didn't make the playoffs. Yeah. So,
usually, that's about what you need.
That's about what you need.
88 to 90 wins.
Yeah, so if we win 92 next year and somehow don't make the playoffs, then,
Yeah, well... I'm not going to give him a free pass. Honestly, what I'm looking for right now, I want to see some additions to the team.
Yes. Yeah. That's mostly...
That are elite.
Real attempts. Yeah. Real attempts, please.
So go get Simeon. You're going to have to pay more for him than the competition. Because, it's not the greatest hitter's park. So you're going to have to, canoe the thing, kind of,
Yeah.
But this time it will actually mean something. Yeah. It could actually help you win.
It's not just for jersey sales.
Yeah.
It's for winning baseball.
Yeah. So I don't want to. There's no more. If there are any fans out there that are going to give them another year or more excuses, or wait till Julio Rodriguez comes up, we don't know if that fucking guy will ever hit. We don't know. I hope he will.
We don't.
I love the guy.
We don't.
Speaks excellent English. By the way,
he actually speaks great English. Fucking. Yeah, he does.
If you don't know what I'm talking about, look it up. I'm not being racist.
Yeah, no. What's his name?
Former Mariners exec that got disgraced.
Yeah.
Anyway,
fuck that guy.
Yeah. Fuck that guy. And Howard Schultz.
And fuck Howard Schultz. Yeah.
But yeah, so I want to see some action. I want to see us go for it.
Yeah.
Finally.
Yeah, for sure. So I want to hear your thoughts on this little move, because I think I like it. Ken Griffey Jr. is joining the Mariners partnership group. I think it's good. I don't know what it means. I don't know if that... He might just still golf in Arizona every day and not do shit, and just be... His name might be there. But if he's in the building even 20 days of the year, I feel like that's a positive.
Right.
And just to have... I'm guessing some more diversity in the ownership group, I would guess.
Yeah.
I think it's good. And I'm glad he's, I feel like I see a guy like Griffey joining an ownership group as it is, and I'm just really glad it's with the Mariners. I want him to be affiliated with the Mariners forever.
Yeah. How do you think the Yankees fans felt about Jeter going?
Oh yeah, that didn't feel good.
Can't feel good.
That didn't feel good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine if he goes and owns like the Diamondbacks.
Yeah.
It's just like that.
I think, ultimately this probably doesn't mean a whole lot of anything. He was already active with the organization.
See, that's what I thought. Yeah.
But hey, it's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
Like I like it. I like that he wants to be a part of the Mariners.
And that's mostly what it is. Is like I'm glad that he wants to be a part of the Mariners, and I'm glad that the Mariners want him to be a part of the Mariners.
Yeah.
Because like the Sixers, Allen Iverson for years has said he would love to have any role with the Sixers.
Right.
Really, they have done nothing to bring him in.
Yeah.
Imagine how awesome it would be to play for the Sixers if AI was in the building sometimes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm just glad that they're making that effort because it's easy to not do that
Yeah.
and to let that sour a little. But
can you imagine if it came out like, oh, Griffey wanted to buy a few shares of ownership and they said nah?
Oh, dude,
that sounds Mariner
it's so
like.
bad. Yeah.
But no, so anyway, it's I don't think it matters much, but it's cool.
Next
Whatever.
up, form an ownership group for the Sonics.
Yeah. Please.
Yeah, well, really, I guess it's more on the NBA now. But anyway, I think that's baseball talk. Actually, no, it's not. Bob Melvin is going to the Padres.
Yeah.
So the A's are just completely tearing it down, right? It
sounds like they're going to trade everybody.
They're trading everyone.
They're probably going to be playing in a different city.
I was gonna say they're tearing. Like, are they gonna be a franchise next year? Are they doing like a liquidation sale? Are they just going out of business?
They're
just closing shop.
They're
closing shop. Yeah, COVID really got to them. They're closing up, unfortunately. No, but I guess the A's owners are just like, this is such a shit show right now. Like, we just need to figure out where we're gonna play and then try to win. I don't know, but good for the Padres, I guess.
Yeah, he's a solid. He managed the Mariners after Piniella left, and I've actually had talked to him a couple times back then.
Interesting, I didn't know that.
It was very different because Piniella was kind of fun to talk to, and Melvin was just as boring as you could ever get. And he ran into a tough situation following Piniella, and then like you mentioned, they won. They won a lot of games. I don't remember the exact number, but they won close to 100 games that
103.
year.
It was over 100, I think. Yeah.
And didn't make the playoffs, and so that was viewed as a shitty season. So I don't think the Mariners embraced him, but he's obviously done a lot with very little. So what will he do with some big names in San Diego?
That's the thing. It's a different job than he's had. So
I'm just glad old guys still wear baseball uniforms.
It's the most unnecessary and ridiculous thing in all of sports, but it's great.
I want to see Pete Carroll in full pads.
Oh, dude, yes. That'd be great, dude. Imagine like Tom Thibodeau in a tank top. That'd be so awesome. Okay. This is some good news. We got Lenny Wilkens Way. Looks like is it going to be right by the arena?
Right by Climate Pledge.
Climate Pledge. Yeah. So it already happened a while ago.
No, that's cool.
It's awesome. Yeah, it's great. And it's just more. I want more Sonics energy just around the place. Like, let's build the Sonics energy up, and then we'll manifest it.
And he's a great person. I have you ever heard anyone say anything bad about Lenny Wilkens?
No. And he's like a guy like Lenny Wilkens played long ago enough and wasn't a huge enough star to where he's like a guy you don't hear a ton about as a young fan. But I've heard multiple NBA legends and players talk about how good of a guy he is.
Yeah. And I don't know if he still has the most wins as a coach in NBA history or if somebody passed that. But at one point he had the most wins and the most losses in NBA history.
Yeah.
Obviously he was a player coach for the Sonics. Mm-hmm. So he actually did have to wear the uniform when he coached for a while there, and then won the city's first professional championship, and only one for a very long time until the Seahawks finally got one in 2013. But in '79, 3 months before I moved to Washington, Seattle won their first professional championship. Well, I guess they had the hockey one in 1917.
Yeah. That doesn't count.
Okay.
That doesn't
Well, it
count.
does now because we have a hockey.
That's true. It does now. It definitely counts now. Yeah.
So anyway, it's great. It's funny how
news.
we've only named streets after Mariners. Like our shitty franchise gets the.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Me, Edgar, and
who's the first Seahawk to get a street? Jones, Walter Jones.
I would pick just Jones Street.
Jones Street. That'd be so lame now that I think about it. Jones Street. There's
already one.
There's already a
just declare
it, Walter. Yeah.
No.
I bet there's a West Jones Street, so it's a W Jones Street. It stands for Walter Jones. It doesn't stand for West
the candidates would be
Bobby, maybe. I'm just thinking, like, who's
Largent,
Largent,
if you want to go way back.
Would they have done that already, though?
Walter Jones.
I guess Wilkins is even older than Largent, so they waited a while for him.
Maybe Pete Carroll, who knows? Probably not.
I think he's got to win one more. If he wins another, then
Yeah, then give him a street. I'm fine with that. I don't know. Not going to be Russell Wilson, probably, because he's not gonna, I don't know how much longer he's going to be here.
Yeah, it might not be the cleanest of breaks ever.
Wilson Street and
Wilson
Jones Street.
Wilson, yeah.
Yeah, Wilson and Jones. Corner of Wilson and Jones.
There you go. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
All right. Do you have anything else? Do you want to move into our segments?
Yeah.
All right. Let's start it off with the Clown of the Week, which you're hearing through the microphones. Just gonna turn it off. My Clown of the Week, my Clown of the Month, really, because it was a while ago, is gonna be Aaron Rodgers. You've heard all of it, so I'm not gonna talk a lot about it. Purposefully misled the media and the NFL. Also, bonus Clown of the Week, the NFL for just not following their own rules. He should have been suspended.
Yeah.
And he just got fined like $14,000, just pocket change, and then. CeeDee Lamb wears his jersey untucked and he gets $25,000. So it's like bonus Clown of the Week NFL, really. I mean, Aaron Rodgers was just like he was the sneaky raccoon of the week, but
Goodell's in the hall in the
he's the perennial. Yeah, he's
the
there's a list, it's like Howard Schultz, Roger Goodell, Rob Manfred.
Yeah.
There's a short list of perennial Clown of the Week.
Yeah.
What's the word for like week? I guess weekly Clown of the Week, not perennial because perennial is yearly, right?
Right. Yeah.
Anyway, so slight clown to Rodgers. I think he was just more being sneaky. That is some clown shit though, to just kind of lie about it. Real Clown of the Week goes to the NFL just for how they handled the whole thing. Also, well, we scored 0 points, so it's not why we lost. So. Yeah. Anyway,
Rodgers didn't.
He didn't play well either. Yeah, he didn't play well. Anyway, what's your Clown of the Week?
So, gosh, I'm having trouble. Is Cassius Marsh? Is that one too old now?
No, you got it. All
right. Because I could go Russell Wilson and his fucking videos and all that.
I want you to go Cassius Marsh because I disagree with you.
So, okay, we always disagree on this.
Yes.
I'm the only person on the face of the earth, other than whoever's on that committee, who likes the taunting rule. Now, I will say it needs to be refined and more specific. I think guys need to know what they can and can't do. Mm-hmm. My problem with taunting is there's about 1 out of every 100 taunts that I'm like, yeah, that was a good one. The Jacob Browning point.
Right.
Loved it.
Yeah.
And worth the penty.
That one was worth the penalty.
Throw a flag. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I'll eat the penalty when I need to eat the penalty.
Yeah.
But why are you Cassius Marsh? You get 1 sack a year, so maybe you need to make the most of it. You get your 1 sack and you stare down the opposing sideline, and like, how about go fucking jump up with your teammate, like be happy with your teammate. And here's the other thing:
it's more fun. That's why
you were losing.
Way more fun.
You're looking at the team that's beating your ass.
That's where I agree with you. I think. From a gamesmanship standpoint, it was stupid to do that.
It's the receiver that first down while we're down 31-7.
Yeah. But, DJ Reed got burnt and then looked down at the guy. Like that one was. It was. I think it was too little to call it, but it was just a dumb thing to do. Anyway, I don't know.
If people knew when to taunt, like if they could run it through me and be like, yeah, you guys have prior beef. Yeah, if something happens, taunt. I like it. And they just should, the NFL should be like, that was a good taunt.
Yeah.
Don't call that one.
Yeah,
But they can't do it that way.
Yeah.
But I don't like just the bullshit taunts all game long that mean nothing. You know, plays that aren't that important, you know.
Yeah, there's certain stuff that I just think is dumb. I don't like that it affects the game.
It affects me watching the game when I see these idiots act like jackasses for every little play.
Yeah, I guess it does. I don't think it bothers most people that much.
Yeah, I just don't see it as necessary. And I don't, maybe some of that's like whatever sports I played, I liked it when people talked to me because it pissed me off.
Yeah, no, that's the most fun the two most fun games I ever had playing baseball are the two games I had the most beef.
Yeah.
Straight up. So,
but you didn't do it every fucking game.
No, I didn't do it every game.
And over a little, I laid down a bunt. Yeah. Eat that, pitcher.
Yeah.
I moved the guy over, asshole.
It wasn't. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. You are right about that.
I have an issue with how much it happens and why it happens. But like I said, if you could get rid of 90% of the taunts and save the best ones, I'm all in on that.
Yeah, okay.
But the guys are too fucking stupid to know when to actually taunt. They taunt over nothing.
Yeah, no, I think
I caught a routine pass.
I think Cassius Marsh was really... I think the situation in which he taunted was kind of dumb. It was dumb. He shouldn't have done it. Especially like... And ultimately, you know the rule is there.
Yeah.
So it's like...
Wasn't the first game of the year.
I don't like the rule. I don't think it should be there, but ultimately, you know the rule is there.
Yeah.
So don't do it.
Don't do it.
Ultimately. So.
And I've heard a lot of former players, hey, stupid ass fat guy like me I don't know what it's like to be in the moment. Yeah, I agree with you. But I'm pretty sure if I were in those moments, I'd be looking for my teammate and like ramming my helmet into their helmet and giving us concussions before I stood over somebody, because you know what? If I beat you, if I knock you down, you don't even deserve to make eye contact with me. Like you're gonna watch me celebrate around your ass.
Yeah. So that's like, like I think there has like I never stared anyone down or anything unless I felt I had a reason.
Yeah.
And it didn't happen. It really, like, that type of stuff only happened, like, a few times in my, high school, whatever, baseball career.
Yeah.
Like, but I think there is, I don't want to say a culture because that sounds bad. There's, like, it's turned into a thing now to just, like, the reason people are taunting other people is because they got taunted by that. Like
the abused becomes the abuser.
It's only like you're only taunting each other because you're taunting each other, not because, like, for example, the most beef I had in a game was when someone on my team got plunked, and then I plunked the kid that plunked him.
Yeah.
There's beef.
Unwritten rules, motherfucker.
There's beef. And then and then of course, I hit a triple off him, and then I I'm pounding my chest, and I'm pitching that game, and I get up on the mound, and the coach is talking shit to me, so I flipped him off. Like, that's just how it goes.
Yeah.
The coach is talking shit to me. But if you're just taunting just to taunt, then it's like, why are we even doing this?
Yeah.
Like, Antonio Cromartie and Michael Crabtree should have taunted each other because Cromartie snatched Crabtree's chain.
Yeah.
So that's beef.
Yeah.
And
there's a real reason.
They hated each other before they played each other.
Not I made a routine play that I'm supposed to make.
Yeah.
Fuck you, dude.
I agree with that. I agree. Like, every first down, like, giving the first down. It's just like...
I'm so tired of that.
It's just, like...
Do it in the first down that clinched the game.
Yeah, because that's like remember when DK got that first down against the Eagles to secure that, and then he did the first down and he kind of started waving.
Yeah,
like that's a good taunt. That's a good
taunt. I like that taunt.
That's a good taunt.
Yeah,
that's a good taunt. Yeah.
So I think so. Could it? Yeah, like I said, could they find a way to? Here's the thing. I think it's a little bit like targeting. Mm-hmm. Targeting if I hit you helmet to helmet, I get it. I get the call.
Mm-hmm.
If I turn my head to the side, sometimes they don't call it targeting because it looks like he's trying.
Yeah.
So say so instead of saying, fuck you, motherfucker, you say fuck you, motherfucker.
Yeah.
And you don't get the
Yeah,
flag.
exactly. Yeah.
Just be a little discreet.
I was like, no, I was talking to my team, like, hey, fuck you, motherfucker.
That's right.
That's what it was. Yeah.
Just don't look at the guy and you're probably fine.
Seriously, that's
So
it's mostly visual.
I understand why people didn't like that call.
Yeah.
But I'm like, dude, you're losing the game.
Also, I don't know,
doing?
like.
And you're not a good player. You're not even
it's
good.
It's true. He didn't. I think some people thought the ref threw that flag, was throwing the flag after he hip checked him.
He was already pulling.
He was already throwing the flag. It was just a bitch move to do that though.
Yeah, it was
to hip check. And also, I've heard people talk about how that is it Pelissaro? Was that the ref?
No.
Corrente. Who's Pelissaro?
He's like a reporter.
He's a reporter. Yeah, he's a reporter. Yeah. Yeah, Corrente, not Pelissaro. I was like, wait, that's way wrong. Yeah. Corrente. I've heard people. Yeah. I think players said he's vindictive.
Yeah.
So
it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, but I do agree. I agree with Cassius Marsh being a clown in this very specific instance.
Can you very, very quickly find the photo of him in the press conference? If you can't, that's fine.
Oh yeah,
and then to further the clown of the week, when he comes on and first of all,
dude, that's a tough.
He's whining about being hit checked by the ref.
It's a tough
stop.
Look. Yeah,
you got hit checked by you're an NFL player. He's a 60-year-old man.
Mm.
You're gonna complain. Oh, he hip checked me, and then his look, his stupid long hair and his little fur-lined coat. Screw that guy. Clown of the week.
Clown of the week.
Yeah, I'll stand over you and taunt you through my microphone very far away. Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, no, I don't think I can find it anyway. Yeah, I can find it.
He looked like a clown.
Right on time.
Yeah, there we go.
Here we go.
Look at this guy.
Here we go.
Like, if you're gonna do that, you shouldn't be able to. You shouldn't be able to.
Look at
taunt
his hair,
anyone.
bro.
Yeah.
Look at his hair.
Yeah.
He was on Two Bears One Cave with Tom. It was actually pretty funny.
No, I think he's a pretty funny guy.
He is.
I kind of liked him.
Yeah.
I actually kind of like him.
No, specific.
This was disappointing.
Yeah,
this ruins his legacy.
This ruins his whole legacy.
Barely NFL player.
As a Seahawk, this ruins his Seahawk legacy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Let's get into our picks then.
Oh Jesus. Yeah.
Yeah, we're running pretty long here.
Yeah. Well, it's been a while.
It has been a while. Do you want to go first with your favorite?
My favorite is, I like Utah -3 at home against Oregon.
Okay.
This week, I think this.
Wait,
is
Utah's -3?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So that basically tells you that they think it's kind of a toss-up almost.
Yeah.
You usually get the 3 points at home.
I guess Oregon's not like that good.
Oregon can only run the ball.
Yeah.
And that's what Utah is good at stopping.
Okay.
I think this is where Oregon goes down. I don't have to listen to them in the goddamn Final Four anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my favorite is going to be the Packers -1.5 at the Vikings. Don't love a road favorite. I just think Rodgers is going to bounce back a little. And
I like that one too.
I just don't trust the Vikings.
Those Vikings, man.
They're like, it'll probably be like they'll disappoint me, or they'll beat me this week. They're going to crumble. I'm not worried about my tattoo bet.
Their coach is like the ultimate guy that you just can't quite fire.
Yeah. All right, and then I guess we'll snake draft, as is tradition, to my dog, which is going to be the Cowboys +2.5 road dog against the Chiefs.
Wow.
Which tells me they actually are slightly favored just as a football team.
Yeah.
Cowboys.
My concern, the Chiefs might have it rolling again.
They do. See. They might. Yeah, and I could. Oh, this. By the way, this is like. I think this is gonna be right. I could see myself losing this one by a lot. So
could be. Yeah, I didn't. I didn't really like I didn't really like any of the NFL dogs. Like I looked at all of
I
them.
know.
Like,
I didn't.
yeah, you're definitely gonna lose by at least that.
Yeah, I didn't love any of them.
Yeah. So I went college with my dog. Also, I like Michigan State getting 19 points at Ohio State.
Wow,
I know Ohio State is always really great, but I think that's
a lot of points.
And Ohio State's, I just don't think they're what they have been the last few years.
Yeah,
so
I agree.
I think Michigan State's gonna probably lose, but I think they're gonna hang in there, keep it to, around single digits.
Yeah,
or close.
yeah. All right, and then do you want to snake it over to your over?
Over Cowboys Chiefs 56. I think there's going to be some fireworks in this game.
I was gonna say that was a consideration for my over. Okay, my over though is where'd it go? Shit. Hold on. It is Saints versus fucking Eagles. Saints versus Eagles 42.5. That's my over.
Okay, yeah,
that is my over.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry that took me forever.
Good.
Snake it over to the under. Give me Lions at Browns under 43.5.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm trying to read my own notes. I had 2 in here. I picked 2 just in case. So I like San Diego State, UNLV under 41. That game's going to be 24-3 or something.
Yeah.
So, but for some reason I wrote Pat's Dogs Clone 47. So Pat's Dogs Clone 47. So go with that one.
Okay.
Who are the Patriots playing?
They're playing the Falcons. The over is 47.
Okay, I like the under 47.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
This dog's clone is under.
Pat's Dogs Clone 47.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we'll go with the Falcons thing that you mentioned.
And then do you want to go with your do you have a player of the week?
I mentioned him before. I didn't put a lot of thought into my player of the week.
Yeah, I didn't put a ton of thought into mine either, to be completely honest.
I just wanted to bring this person up just because I think he's played really incredibly as Trey Brown, the corner of the Seahawks.
Yeah.
That dude is shutting people down.
Yeah.
And I think he's going to do it again this week.
Yeah.
And help the Seahawks get a win here.
Yeah, no, I like that.